Good evening. Tonight I want to show you your government is at it again. Can you believe it that after the media statement that the government made promising everybody that they now have an extension of 3 months, it's actually quite dubious about whether this extension is real or not. You know how we've pointed out how your government publishes things and asks you to comment on pieces of legislation that are actually invalid, no longer relevant in law. Well, guess what? They've done it again. Oops, they've done it again. And as usual, I'm going to show you the actual factual publications made by your government in contradiction of their own statement. I'm just bringing up here on this side, just so that I can see any of your questions in case you are filing any questions there. Aha, just put that there. Here we are. Let me take you quickly to the government's publication that they made the other day. Also the media statement, just so you can see that we're not making anything up. On your government's website, coronavirus.gov.za, we can go to their public statements. Here we are on the 5th. That's when they clarified that. On the 4th, let's have a look. Open this up. This is what your government said. They said in these paragraphs, the Minister of Health, Joe Fahla, has extended the period of public comments on health regulations relating to the surveillance and control and all those regulations by 3 months, with effect from Thursday, the 5th of May, with effect from that day. Then they say the new closing date in the second paragraph, the new closing date is the 5th of July. Look at this, the 5th of July, right there in your face. And you will recall that the news media, ENCA, said exactly the same. Now, this document, as it is here on the government's website, has not been retracted. There's no update to this document. Instead, they're talking about joint media and the reopening of Charlotte, Makleka, all of those other things. Nothing to update this document whatsoever. Well, guess what? Let's show you something else. Let's go to the government, to the National Department of Health. National Department of Health. Department of Health, South Africa. There we go. If you open up their website and you go here under notices and you click public comments, it opens up the following document. We've never seen this document before. Never. And this document, and you go down to the bottom, you will see it only shows one of six entries. There's no other entries. This is what they've put up for you to see. They say, publishing date, the 5th of May. Let's make it big. 5th of May, and the closing date for these comments, 5th of August. What does it show here? We showed you. They stating that it is the 5th of July. That's what they say there. 5th of July, but on this document they say 5th of August. But what is the government gazette that they are referring to here? Look at the number, 46-243. Let's just go in there real quick. Notices on the government website, that's where you will find it. Let's type in 46-243. And let's search that. Open that up. That was on the 14th. You will recall that on the 14th, when we took the government to court at first, on that day, they came out with this notice and say, oh, we're extending the comment period for 10 days. But then you recall that video that I made that went viral, pointing out that all of these numbers of regulations that they are quoting here under 46045 had been replaced. They are no longer valid. So what did they then do? They then did another notice on the 19th, which is just 5 days later, and that one was under 46251. They put out this notice. There, on the 19th. Then they corrected it after they've obviously watched the video pointing out that they were putting the incorrect numbers. There you go. Then they said it's 46048. And they said that period of consultation also only went to the 24th of April. So 24th of April, all comment periods stopped. Back to the 5th of, or the 4th of March. Remember when they scrambled all of this in? And they said, we now extend it by 3 months. By 3 months, with effect from Thursday, 5th of May, but the comment period ends on the 5th of July. Really? Now, click here, as I say, so that you can see a copy of this. 200%. And this is the part where he has gazetted, not gazetted, that's the one where he's gazetted, but the one that he's extending. So he gave this notice and he says, we're extending government Gazette number, here he says, 46048 for 3 months from the date of publication of this notice. So this Gazette number, 46048, is what they are extending according to this document. But what do you see here? They saying the 3-month extension from the 5th of May to the 5th of August is based on 46243. It can't be true. Do you realize what this means? You are again being given an extension on notices that are no longer valid. Your government tells you that 3 months from the 5th of May ends on the 5th of July. You can't make this up. 3 months should end on the 5th of August. But according to them, the extension for 3 months is based on another government gazette, which contains references, which contains notices which had been replaced. Haven't we said this to them before, that you cannot comment on notices which are no longer relevant in law? This is what we told them on the 14th, and that is why a few days later, on the 19th, they changed and updated. Do we have to tell them again? So your government is either duping you, or they don't want to give you an extension. They don't want you to comment on these notices. Instead, they are literally telling you there that you need to go and comment on 46 to 43, which is related to notices which are no longer relevant. Let's just be clear about something here. You all know that we took the government to court. We told them that the public needs 3 months, right? They came up with this nonsense argument, oh, the government can just make about any number of days that they want. They clearly can't. What is it that brought them to the point of giving 3 months notice? You make up your mind about that. Do you really think that the government would have given a 3-month extension if they were not pressurized into court and to come and see and realize that it is inconsistent with the law? Of course not. ENCA made a statement where they said that on the I think it's about 5 minutes to midnight on the 4th, where they said the government has now decided to extend the period for comment on the new draft health regulations in accordance with the law, in accordance with legal provisions, with statutory provisions. But they don't say what is the statutory provision. I'll tell you what the statutory provision is, since they don't want to say. It's section 90, subsection 4A, exactly what we told the government. This is why they are now talking about 3 months, but they use the word extension instead. Look, the comment period ended on the 24th. That's the end of the line. That's what it was. After they realized that they were wrong, now they came and put out another one. Oh, but we're going to call it an extension, and we're going to confuse them. We're going to put out a media statement and get the media to tell them it's 3 months, but it ends on the 5th. What about that extra month? What about that extra month? So the letter is going into the government to ask them, do they want really 3 months extension? If they do, then can they please correct their media statement, retract it, and put a correction media statement in, and come out and let the news media also tell the public, hello, it's not the 5th, it's the 5th, it's not the 5th of July, it's the 5th of August. Why don't they come out and tell you that? Also, what is this creepy new web page that they've created? And no one has seen it. They're not talking about it, not even in the news media, that says it actually ends on the 5th of August. But they are weirdly quoting a Gazette number that is no longer relevant. You have to ask yourself, is the news media no longer doing journalism? That's because they don't ask accountability questions of the government. Be careful as to where you take your information from. Next time you sit and listen to ENCA or News Network 24, they have to be called out because they do not ask the government accountability questions. Take it with a pinch of salt. This is why you've got to do your own research and check with the government where they say things, but they actually do something else. Because look at what they're publishing. So why is this of an issue? They are asking you, the public, to come to their website. They give you a link to come and get information, and also to come there to put your comments. The question has to be, which part of the government's publications on their own website do they want the public to pay attention to? And which is it that they think the public should ignore? Or should the public believe anything the government says, anything that the government says on their websites? If there are only some things that the public shouldn't take notice of, can they please tell us which it is? Yeah? It's high time that your government be held accountable and not just reported on what they are saying. With that, my people, I just want to leave you to that. Pay close attention to what's happening here. Your government is at it again. Just going to quickly check whether people are putting some questions there. Jason Vessel says the news media are in bed with the government. They have never been fair or independent. Pay attention. Pay attention. You're perfectly entitled to your views, and you're perfectly entitled to share that information and belief with every and anybody that you want. Yeah, Colin Van Vieren says they think we are fools. Exactly, Colin. Yes. This is what the media wants to do with you. They want you to hang on to every word that they say as if they are the authority and that they somehow have a monopoly on truth. Check the information for yourself. I've just shown you the links. Go to the government's website and you're going to click those links that you've just seen that I've done here in the video for you and see it for yourself and you come to the realization that there's a huge question over whether you can rely upon what the government says and what they tell the media to tell you. I'll leave you to that, my friends. Another piece of important information. It's clear that there is intention for the public to have 3 months participation, 3 months to consult on this. This is vital. This consultation is not just going to happen there in the air all by itself. It's going to take each and every one of us. What we're planning to do is to get this message out to as many people as we can, not just those of us who are able to be online here and watch this video. It's fantastic that we share this and keep doing this. Share this video, share this information. More than that, we're going to need to get onto the road. And I reiterate that we need the funding so that we can get the message out to people who are blind and deaf, people who do not have access to the internet, people who do not understand the legal terms contained in these draft regulations, people who do not understand what it means, people who live on the fringes, who have frequent blackouts. And I know even people in the city have frequent blackouts or load shedding and don't have access to this. How many people have you heard that are not even aware, one, of the notices, let alone what the draft regulations actually say and what they imply? You recall in that other previous video that I said to you, even the parts that they've made law already, they sneaked it in, which shows utter contempt for the public, utter contempt. And yet in these regulations, there are things that doesn't make sense. They actually require you to be COVID positive if you are traveling to South Africa. It's in their regulations. I mean, really, what is the point then that you need to test yourself and prove that you're negative? And then in the same piece of legislation, it says that you need to show a positive PCR test approved by the health organization, World Health Organization. Okay, you're lost for one is lost for words. Then why is the point of the tests and all these rules in the first place? They're nothing to do with your health. It's all about control. It's all about control. We need to fight for our freedoms, and you cannot put a price on this, my friends. Keep your donations coming and watch out for the next video that we will be putting out, which is a fundraising video so that we can get the show on the road and take South Africa back by storm. The country belongs to the people who live in it, not some unelected people who sit out there on an unelected forum and wanting to tell your government what to do. Your government owes you a duty of care. They should listen to you. Democracy is governance by the people, for the people. And it should be your elected representatives that should carry out duties consistent with the mandate you gave them. If you haven't given them a mandate to do things, they shouldn't be asserting powers that they don't have, like your minister has done. And we pointed that out to him in court. The reason why he's now talking about 3 months extension, but he still doesn't know how to adequately and clearly, unambiguously put that out to the public. My friends, I'll leave you with that, and I wish you all a great evening. We'll be in touch shortly. Spread the word.